Reese, if you can start. So this is, guys.
I can't sit on the floor.
Okay, so we'll get going. Thank you all for showing up this evening. For those of you that have never been to one of these events, we as Camkin Cameras run a monthly photo talk session. A variety of speakers come along, events, different sort of things in these evening sessions in this amazing space we've got. So we really put this on for you. So we're really welcoming Cambridge Chronicles this evening. We're really honoured to have you guys here. So it will be something different, and I hope you all can get away with something that you haven't learned before. And I'm sure Dom and his team will be around afterwards if you want to ask any questions or anything like that at all. So just a bit from us. So if you've never met me, probably a good thing. But my name's Reese. I work at Camkin Cameras, and I head up all the events and social media, the marketing, the photography show. So that's where I kind of come into the shop. So if you've never been in Campkins before, we've been around since 1952. At the moment we're heading up by Owen Howell, who is third generation owner. So we've had multiple shops in and around Cambridge and beyond since 1952, but we now reside currently at King's Parade. So I'm not going to read all that out, but that's a bit about Owen. So if you've never met Owen, he's always around to offer deals, create a community. So we're very much a very family-run business. So that's Owen. So in terms of deals I just mentioned, normally we take this opportunity to offer you 5%, 10% off a product or something like that, but it doesn't always appeal to everyone that's in the room. So if there is a bit of camera gear or equipment you are searching for, you're looking for, do come and see us, because if there's any way we can help you as creatives in Cambridge and the people that come to these events, we will try and look after you the best way we possibly can. So, or if you don't want to come and see us and you just want to see if you can get a cheap price on something, email Owen at the bottom. I can give you his personal email address at the end of the thing, which is that one there, and we can get you in touch with that so we get the ball rolling. So any way we can help you out, we will do. We also run workshops, events, one-to-one lessons, so we've got a couple of things that are coming up over the next month before the photography show, which I'll talk a bit about as well, because that's really cool and really looking forward to that. So we've got, at the end of next month, I don't know why, as a professional camera shop we're offering this, however we are. It seems like the way of the world and tourists like this sort of thing, so we're offering a art of the phone photography workshop. Yeah, that's basically that's all it entails.
Make it in black and white.
So in a nutshell, often a lot of people don't have a camera with them, unless you're Bill, who works at Camping, if you've met him. He always has a camera. Then you always have your iPhone or phone with you. So we're going to go through the ways to get the best sort of results out of your phone. I will put a big disclaimer on there, and it's in bold everywhere, that you will not get professional grade photos from your phone. But yeah, so feel free to scan the QR code, find out more, book tickets, come and see me after if you want to get involved with that. So yeah, that's that one. Humans Cambridge, many of you might know the gentleman in the photograph there, Mark Box, set up Humans Cambridge as a street portraiture photographer. He literally heads out into Cambridge and he will photograph a human that he thinks looks good or looks unique, and he will just go and have a conversation with them. We'll just take their photo, and he documents that on Instagram, on his social media pages, and also has a double page spread quite often in the press as well. So we've been doing a lot of work with Mark over the years, but we've got a workshop with him, a masterclass workshop on street portraiture. So that is now available to book. We did an interest form over the last month to see who would be interested, and again, enough interest that we're now able to put it on. We've not got one, we've got 2 dates for that. So feel free to scan the QR code if you are interested in a street portraiture workshop from a professional within the industry. Cool. This is a rearranged. This is actually at the moment presently fully booked. So what we're doing at the moment is we're taking additional interest if people are interested. But again, a local photographer from Cambridge, Ben Phillips. If many of you may know him, may not know him. I do a lot of work with him at Cambridge United, and he's been a club photographer for donkey's years. So he's got so much information in his head that he's willing to give out to us. So if you are keen on learning from him, and I guarantee people may drop out, so if you are interested in that, please do come and see me. I'll take your contact details and we can see if we can get you on that in any way. Last year that sold out within 2 days, so we are really looking forward to that. Unfortunately, the last one that was meant to happen in July was called off due to rain. Being involved in football myself and sports, I've never had to call off a game in July for rain, but here we are. So that's that one. Moving on to the photography show, there's leaflets and QR codes on your table in front of you. You've all come here presumably for a reason tonight, and that's to learn from Cambridge Chronicles and what they do. So if you want to get the latest gear, if you want to get inspired by, if you've been inspired tonight by Dom and his team, and you want to come and listen to some talks by Mark Fox and so forth, and so many more amazing people, scan that QR code. The tickets are free. So we hire out the Hilton Hotel around the corner, and we completely take over that with every brand you can ever think of. We have talks from all across different varieties and discussion points across photography and creative media. So yeah, that's really, really looking forward to that one. And also in the week before that, we have the Cambridge Photography Week, where we've got workshops, events, talks every night. I think out of 3 nights to 5, we've got this room booked. So we're really looking forward to that. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress, but it's finally coming together. And yeah, like I said, we're really looking forward to that. Dom was involved with that from very early on when it was started out. So I'm sure he has the same passion and enthusiasm as we do at Camkin. So yeah, I think from me, I think that's basically it at the moment. Let's see if I've got anything. Oh, and the camera club. So we were mentioning about the community that we're trying to create here. Since COVID, the community in Cambridge has kind of been a bit flat. So if you are a camera enthusiast and you're not part of this group, please do join. There's all the events that we run is normally on there about a week or so before I publish it to the general public to get involved. Because I feel like if you come to these talks and you get involved with us at Camkin's Cameras, you deserve the first access to these events we put on. And we're just trying to build our community, so if you've got a stuck question about your camera, you don't know how it works, or you want to learn how to get into something, put it on that group, and 9 times out of 10 someone will ask you about what you need to do. Also going on back onto our events, we really try and budget it to you, so we only charge £20 an event for an hour, which if you've been involved with events before, that's really cheap, and we're not trying to make a profit out of it or you, we're just trying to make sure our expenses are covered. So if you do want to get involved with anything we do, come and see me at the end. I'll give you the right QR codes, the right website links and so forth, and go from there. I think, does anyone need a bit of time with any of the QR codes? I can come back to it at the end after Dom's finished. What have I got? So, the reason why you're all here, our guests at Cambridge Chronicles, I think this is when I hand over to Dom. I will let him explain what he wants to do. The floor is yours.
Oh, hey, hello everybody. So yeah, so I've been invited from Campkins because I used to work there. I worked there for 5 years, and I always loved the concept of photography, photography hub, and all that kind of people. And they invited me to give a talk about me as a photographer because, you know, that's my nature. And I said, how about I call the people that I would try to work with in the beginning? And they were like, okay, this is cool. And I think this is one of those little concepts that you see 7 people speak instead of 1. I think it brings up more ideas and conversations. And I think Cambridge Chronicles started as just an idea about answering questions to what things are to the city. And it came up with looking at the cows, and I was like, where did the cows come from? And I was like, how about I would like to answer these questions in a video format by creating a little, like, you know, channel called Cambridge Chronicles, because you tell the tales of the city. In the beginning, I was like, okay, cows are difficult because you have to do logistics, this and that. But how about the local person who sings in the bin? Like, you know, like we all have seen Charlie singing in the bin over there. I was like, who's Charlie? Like, how did you get to Charlie? Until I came to the idea of documenting the most beautiful things about the city. So the Cambridge Shakespeare Festival, they do their draws in the sky, and photographers and simple people who are just who belong to the city. And my idea was to create a documentary about the intellectual center of the world, which is Cambridge, because I'm very fond to this city because it's magical in some aspects. And with more demand to videos and pictures, I thought, okay, I want to progress from being just a photographer to open up something bigger. So this is where Tom came into the conversation. Tom was like, hey, I'm Tom, you know, I'm a big local video editor, and I would like to work with something bigger than, like, you know, just myself. And I was like, okay, cool, let's meet for a coffee, let's see how it does, how it goes, and what we do. And we took videos to editing. So we brought editing to the process of just photography. Then Sam came along, and he was like, he's one of those people I would highly recommend to listen to because he speaks from his heart, and his products are incredible. Like, to whichever stand you're used to this, you will hear the incredibleness, and you will see it in the hero video just to begin with. Because now what Cambridge Chronicles is to be is an authentic branding studio. It's a sonic branding studio where we focalize the music, the real music that we make in-house through people that we know, through musicians that we know, to promote tourism and academia and everything else we do. So because this is where we become a branding studio with the skills of sound, visuals, and photography. And if you could play the video, this is our hero video. So it's 1 minute long. This is what we do. This is our vibe, and I hope you enjoy it.
I might have to play the sound from my laptop.
We got a... No, we don't have a
Speaker?
Where's the speaker?
Don't come here.
If not, I play from my laptop.
Play for your left. The left is in the text.
the snapshot intro.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Okay, this is snapshot intro. We're cool. You can. Okay, you gotta pull it up. Okay, hero video. That's who we are. Bye. Yeah. Oh, if the speaker was here, and now we tell you how this was all born, because now we're not just a photography studio or whatever. We're a bunch of people that believe in the same advertisement. This is what we do, because our languages speak together: the sound, the visuals, the graphics, the ideas, like the risk, and I was the first one to believe and to start this mission, and then Sam came along. Like, he came out of heaven. I swear to God, I don't believe in God, but he came out of heaven. And he came to the house and was like, he was looking for a room. He's like a new person to start living. And I was like, I do sound engineering. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but, like, you know, you're welcome. And the next day he moves into the house, and he's starting to show me his beats. And I'm like, oh my God, you bring in sound. Like, you know, you have to connect to the right people to work with. And you choose the one that you believe in. And I was like, come on, man, let's start cooking. And this is where the question for me now is, Sam, how do you like your music so much?
Me? I think I brought it also there because everything started on the... I never thought I would be understood on word, you know, because sometimes word cannot be up to actually the feeling you are actually feeling in that moment, right? So I started making music on the purpose of being understood, so people could feel like my mood in that time, you know, people could feel some emotions that they never felt. And I think everybody got their own way to express this different way to communicate emotions, right? We got photography, we got video editing that could add even more, you know, emotions to the things itself that he made. So that was the starting, basically on wanting to be unique, you know, wanting to be understood, and I just liked it.
So Sam does incredible beats. He comes up, like, we came up, so the first thing we did was, like, we wanted to remain authentic. We said that, like, you know, in the world of so much, but there's so much information. Like no one can say no to it. There's so much. The authenticness is gone. Like it's not about talking about AI or whatever that is. It's just like, you know, that sound that used to be there, or the sound that something used to make. There's nothing left anymore. And we decided that we're gonna start producing and getting inspired by authentic sound. So instead of listening to YouTube videos or whatever that was, we went to charity shops. We started picking up the oddest vinyls, and we're like, okay, let's go and get inspired. Like our intro to Snapshot is actually inspired by Jim Reeves, if you think about it. So this is how we started acting on the sound of it. And Sam brought a lot to it because his inspiration is really to be a music producer in life. At the beginning, like, you know, we're just sounding like whatever that is, but his goal is to become, like, he's really great at what he does. So Sam, who do you want to be in life, man?
I want to be everything that I could be, honestly. I don't feel like there's any limit on what you can do with it, like your own strength. I don't think I want to be like someone who just go around small places playing his music. I just want to be someone who work really with the industry and like inspire people and make money and inspire other people to work with you. Maybe when I would be like 50 years old, I would take the young people as I did and give them opportunities that I've never had in my life, right?
Nice. So the next one to follow was Tom. Like, he was the one who emailed me. He's just like cold emailed the shit out of it. He was like, yo, my name is Tom. This is what I do. This is what I can do for you, and let me know if you were interested. And one day I was there taking pictures and editing the videos. And I'm one of those people that, I love my job, but if I do something I don't like, I will feel it. And I was like, no, I gotta close the computer. And I was like, let me try to email Tom. And I was like, Tom, come for a coffee. I'm a coffee dude. Like, you know, it's like it has to be simple when you speak, like, you know, partnerships and this kind of shit. And I was like, what do you do and what would you like to do? He's like, yeah, I'm video editing. I can adapt to any vibe. Let me know. And I was like, yeah, cool. The next day he was working. And I was like, what we started working on was like our academia stuff that we know for universities and stuff like this. But then Tom gave an image to us because he adapted to the sound. And where does all this passion come from? Like, what is your background in terms of images?
So like I'm kind of a video editor by, I guess like I'd say trade, but I've always wanted to be a filmmaker ever since I was like 7 or 8 years old. So that's really where my passion comes from. And I think at the point that I reached out to Dom, I'd been working for a creative agency for about like 5 years, and I found the material like very restricting, and I think I just wasn't working around people that were kind of like that were satisfying my creative impulses enough. And that's why I kind of like, I sort of fell in love with the idea of Cambridge Chronicles and it's just I like being around people that kind of inspire me and we inspire each other. But like my main video editing is, again, it's like my core skill, but filmmaking has always been my passion and just like a passion for moving images and sound. And that's kind of, yeah, so that's where it comes from.
The one thing that I learned from Tom was that the importance of creating a good long narrative. Because I used to edit my videos, but I'm not in his position. I can't do what he does. And what he brought to Cambridge Chronicles as a branding studio is the whole history of something we shoot. And I was like, Tom, this is incredible. Like, he can combine words in a way that everyone will get the messaging from. So my question is, what did you learn from our project so far? We got podcasts, we got our clients, we got Glastonbury. What is the things that you learned so far?
I think I've learned that kind of, again, just to reference the job that I've been doing previously, it's like compared to that, I think the videos, because like a lot of the videos that we've worked on have like a solid, like, you know, there are human beings at the core. It's like, you know, it's not because I'd worked on a lot of like product videos and stuff like that, you know, very just objects and kind of stuff like that. And I think this is something that both me and Dom kind of agreed on. It's like, you know, if there isn't like a solid kind of like, you know, a good human subject at the core of the video, it's like, you know, it's not really that interesting. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned, just how much I've been kind of woken up by kind of working on videos like that, for sure.
I think it's all about delivering the right information by asking the right questions. Yeah. And this is what we specialize in. Like, if we produce anything that we do is in a documentary style, we'll ask the right questions just to begin with. You wouldn't produce something that's like 10 seconds long for TikTok, or like no one is interested in this. So Tom brought that. Then Nadia came in, and I was like, I wasn't struggling, because the whole process of Cambridge Chronicles, from being just a photographer to the studio, was that, okay, this is something happening. There's Tom, there's Sam. It's like there's 3 of us working. It's like there's sound, there's this, then there's what's missing. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just like randomly linked up, you know, apprenticeship, whatever that was for Cambridge Chronicles as a developing whatever. And Nadia, she's always like, yo, Dom, it's like, you know, let's meet for a coffee. It was like, we all met for a coffee. And she was like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to structure yourself here, you have to open an LTD. Like, you don't, when you're young and you're not experienced in this, you would forget about the first steps. And she's there to develop the business further. And she's like, okay, like this is what you do, this is good, but you should do a bit more of this. So what was the thing that captured your attention of Cambridge Chronicles?
So actually how it happened, it was more of an accident. So a little bit of my background. So I'm now 25, just recently turned 25. I came here when I was 18. I came here to study, so I was choosing between two countries. I wanted to go abroad, it doesn't matter where, but like I was choosing between Denmark and England eventually. And then I almost found university in Denmark, and it was like programming and coding, because there was a couple of things I was really good in. It was either maths or like or coding, literally programming. But then I spoke with my aunt. She lived in England. She lived in Bishop Stortford for maybe 15 years prior. So she said, Neda, why don't you come to Cambridge? Like, I work there and I've seen that city is amazing for students. You will just have really good experience from university and stuff like that, and it's going to be easier for you to find job because you can speak English, and in Denmark eventually maybe it would be a little bit more difficult without the language. So it was really like a last moment decision that I came here, and then I studied business management. I wanted to go a little bit more into finance, but the course was of business management was in Cambridge, so I had to choose it. And then that's when I met actually Dom for the first time. So we met in university. We realized, well, he quickly realized that we're both from Lithuania, even though like he only grew up in Lithuania to start with, but then I think you moved to Italy when you were 8 or 10. So I was, when we met, I wasn't exactly sure, is he more like Italian or Lithuanian? So we just like kept seeing each other there, and then sometimes we spoke in English, sometimes we spoke in Lithuanian, you know. But then now that I know him a little bit more, that you know, he calls me Nadia, which is like Italian name. My actual name is Neda, and that's because I love like his espresso. He makes amazing coffee at home. That's where is our office at the moment, because when I saw his ad, so I was working from home. I do sales for this travel technology company. It's B2B, and then so I use LinkedIn a lot. And in that moment, I just like pressed on LinkedIn, and my laptop just did something where by accident it just opened up this page that Dom like posted that he's looking for social media curator. And when I saw it, I was like, like the first thing I just quickly scrolled through to see like what is it about, and then I saw like these really nice videos and like artistic people, and like I really appreciate art, even though I'm a little bit more of a business person, but I have half of me is definitely like towards the art. I really like get inspired by these people and stuff like that, and I love music. Eventually, I even tried DJing and doing events with a couple different groups and stuff like that. I always wanted to have like event management company or something like that, and record label to support the artists, because I knew that their communication sometimes get lost in the message and stuff like that, and sometimes they need a little direction and things like that. So I scrolled through, I saw these videos of like jazz festival and stuff like that. I didn't exactly knew that this was Dom's project. I thought maybe he is a part of this team that, you know, work with Cambridge creatives, and maybe they need some help because it's like an internship. So I knew it's not paid. It's something that, you know, as a community, I really like community work because you can do really nice things for Cambridge, and I fell in love with Cambridge. That's why I've moved away from Cambridge and I came back. So once I saw this, and then I thought about my skills in social media. I thought, well, I'm not really great at it, but it's something that I'm willing to learn and get, you know, like get more knowledge in. So I messaged him. I was like, hey Dom, like I just saw like that you just like posted this ad, and then let's see, maybe I can help you actually, because I have experience in these like events, working with creative people, you know, getting the network and connections in and around Cambridge, and I just enjoy that. I love sparing my time for like, you know, work like this. That's creative. You know, I find passion here. And then he was like, yeah, just come around because we all are working now together and come, let's have coffee. So when I went to their office, and it was Tom, Sam, and Dom, three of them working at that time. And then they started to show me all the production, all the videos, photos, what is their passion, how they see themselves, how they want to grow. Dom was doing a lot of work by himself before he gathered a team, and I quickly realized why he did so, because there is a good demand for it, you know, and looking where the world now is going and how businesses market themselves, and that our social media is free and everyone carries a phone with them all the time. It's not exactly now the posters. You want to interrupt? You come.
Yeah, I'm gonna add. So what we want to do now is we want to progress into an advertising studio that offers something that not many of them do, is in-house production. So we have in-house engineering, we have in-house editing, we have in-house everything. We're gonna open up to a space, hopefully, where we can start producing everything to the world. So we want to start creating documentary about the city itself here, where we will invite the most brilliant academics, not only to shoot, but also to do podcasts with. We will also expand this into a photography studio, which no one else in the city has. So we could expand the name of Cambridge Chronicles not only as a branding agency, but also a studio.
You guys have like a really good skills, but also Dom is really ambitious as well. So it's really nice to work with a team like that, because you know, when you believe in yourself, you can actually like do great things. So like for me, it's just gonna be a really amazing challenge, because I will get to work with these like businesses that they realize now the need for this like creative content and stuff like that. And I mean, the quality that we can produce now, it's amazing. I've seen how Tom, Sam works, Dominique's pictures and stuff like that. Later we will talk about Kadim. He does amazing designs and stuff like that. So actually, like, it was really random as well. Like, we didn't really look for a design person, but I messaged you that we should invite Kadim and like have a chat with him, and like he should show you his work and stuff like that. So I'll come to that in a moment.
So let me take over from this. So Nadia came along to the team, and then she was like, I know this person, he does graphic design, you know, he's cool. I was like, yeah, cool, let's see what the world has to offer. Kadim came in, I was like, oh my God. Like, you know, this is like, you know, this is vibe coming into the house. And he became the creative director of our podcast. Because we have, as well as being an advertising studio, we run our own projects, you know, to improve the communications and everything else. And he came and stepped along as the director for it. So if you can pull up the snapshot intro video, it should be as a file airdrop to you.
Oh, it's not. Okay, yeah.
And our goal with this podcast, and alone with this podcast, is to become the best photography podcast in the world. So this is such a simple video shot on a 5-pound camera, and the idea was to combine all the magical moments until the podcast happened really. And this is a snippet that I took with a camcorder. We came into the living room as we were all working together. We took a microphone, these microphones here, and we were like, okay, let's just say snapshot. And then Sam came up with the sound again. And he was like, okay, like boom, let's make it happen. And we combined the sound, us being as, you know, as an in-house authentic studio, and we combine this into like a little video, which will bring us to be the best photography podcast in the world. So Nadia came in, and then Kadim came in. I was like, brother, show me what you got. And Kadim, tell us your first impressions, because you came in like you were as chill as you are now. Like you.
So yeah, after Netta has told me the information, what was going on, and how everything was working with Dom, I was like, okay, this sounds really interesting. Let me see if I could get everything ready for him to just present what was going on. And during that time, I was already working on my own brand, and I was already looking into streetwear and trying to see how we could go from there, and practicing my own street photography as well. During that time, met Dom, had a conversation, and then when I saw what he was trying to do, I was like, okay, this lines up exactly what I'm trying to get into and what I was trying to get more experience on as well. And then during that time, I have this Like Me brand that I'm doing, and then that was the first thing that I presented towards Dom. And with the characters, it's basically making like almost like a cartoonish caricature kind of thing, where it identifies your unique features and then it basically celebrates that. And then one of the main things that Dom said to me was just like, you know what? He was going to do the interview with Martin Parr, so he was just like, do you think you could turn him into one of these characters? And then I was just like, yeah. Roughly an hour or so later, we got him as a character. We started messing around, and then the environment in itself, I realized, oh, this is actually quite enjoyable, me just getting these different ideas out there. And instead of it like being like, oh, you have to have this in order for it to look proper or anything like that, I was able to use the experience I've honed in on to actually create something to align with what he was going for. And then with that atmosphere, it made me go like, okay, you know what? Let me try to see if I can add in this. And then as I continue forward, I'm adding in different things. I'm adding in different styles with it, showing him different aspects of what I'm capable of. And then with that, it made me go like, okay, this is the environment where it's like, it's a little bit more open.
That's my fault. I'm out. Fuck, my bad. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
So yeah.
Vai.
This I found that this was a more open environment for me to basically expand different techniques that I've done and being able to explore even further and show what I can do with that. As for the creative direction, that is what I'm aspiring to lead towards. I classify myself as a creative art worker because at this task I'm looking at resourcing different materials for Dom as well. Not only materials, different facilities, I'll be able to get everything that he needs as well. And then basically when he gets to that stage where we're getting to the like merchandising, we have that up and ready for him. Because these are places that I've sourced for myself already, and I'm able to find for different networking areas for him as well.
So what we're also gonna do is with the branding studios, we're gonna connect to businesses like us that print merch. So we're gonna be big on that because not only we do it for the art and the artists, but we're also gonna do this for big businesses. We work with we work with the best summer schools in England to produce the merch and the design for it, the campaign for it. And this is where Academia is going to step in and leave a direction there because we're going to make branding campaigns that also include merch. So we're going to develop a business further rather than just the visuals themselves. And after Academia, it was like, okay, this is all vibing, this is all happening, but there's something missing again. And the thing of speaking of each other was missing. I mean, like, you know, who are we? Like, what is Cambridge Chronicles? No one knew what Cambridge Chronicles was. Like, everyone was like, what the fuck, Cambridge Chronicles? Like, I'm saying this, they're saying that, and whatever. And I put an ad on LinkedIn once again. Like, this is something I learned from a great inspirator. His name is Chris Doe. He's the best marketing motivational speaker at the moment, I would say. And he said, try to get interns. And I was like, I always hesitated because I was like, it's a big step, but although it's a small step. And I was like, whatever, boom. Let's search for someone who's a strategist in terms of speaking. And Tristan came up. He called me 5 times. And I was like, man, I was like, you know, this doesn't happen. And he came to the door with the biggest handshake in the world. And I was like, oh man, I asked Tom, man. Asked Tom, like, what was your, bro, what was your first impression of him, man? It was incredible. Yeah. Like he was like, yeah, did you feel the same as I did? I was like, yes, we did. It was crucial, man. It was crucial. You infected the whole thing. So why did you come and knock on that door, bro? Like, you know, why are you the way you are?
So I guess for me, when I was a young guy, when I was like 13, I just sort of saw that like basically anything you can do in this world, you probably can do if you take the appropriate action. So I think from a young age, I was very ambitious. Like I came to this country after living in South Korea for half my life, and I was a complete foreigner, so I had no friends. So my attitude was, I can speak to anyone as long as I make them laugh. So I think I kind of had the same mentality for the Cambridge Chronicles, right? Which was, the truth is, if you have adequate social skills and you have an idea that you want to execute and you hear people out, and you basically take action on that feedback, you can make an amazing advertising campaign. So fundamentally, I saw this advert, this job, and I remember a couple of days prior saying, like, praying to God, like, God, give me a purpose. And then I saw this advert, and then I turn up on this guy's doorstep, and then he looks me in the eye and says, listen, as long as you perform the best, we're going to make the most out of it. We're going to make great stuff. And to me, I just saw a place where there was no ceiling to the company. So to me, because I think potential is more important than coziness to me, I was like, I want to put in, 48-hour, work weeks. I want to work on this job till, 2 in the morning if I have to. Because to me, the team of people at this company and what they want to achieve, it's absolutely in line with my vision of the sky is the limit. And also I must say, no one here is for lack of a better word, like a so-and-so. You know what I mean? Everyone's so respectful. Everyone has, a mentality if they put in the work, but fundamentally we treat one another like friends. So to me, like you say I was infectious, I think you guys infected me,
So to touch on the point of Tristan coming in, the website structure has been designed by someone that we work with. But so if you don't mind, Reece, just come back to the top, please. So Cambridge Chronicles was... Aí, please, huh? That's it. So Cambridge Chronicles was almost an accident. So Cambridge Chronicles was born as an idea to do a little documentary about the city, about the cows, about, Charlie and whatnot. And I thought, okay, I would like to open the branding studio under the name of World Chronicles. And I was like, I'm not convinced, and it wasn't there just yet. And I was like, okay, let me do a little survey between each other and, people that I trusted within the industry and ask, World Chronicles or Cambridge Chronicles? What sounds more evergreen? And they were like, Cambridge all the way, like it was unanimous. And I was like, okay, well, it has to be Cambridge Chronicles. Then champagne level advertising, this dude, he was just there and he was thinking, okay, who are we? And he came out like, no, just by looking at each other, I can say that we're champagne level advertising because we will want to work with someone like Dom Perignon. Mm-hmm. We'll go and conquer Tuscany because this is where the studio will move eventually. And he decided with champagne level advertising, and if you knock down a little bit, he came up all with the copy too. So this is our little, once again, intro video, but if you want to read more about who we are, I will just guide you through it. So we're an authentic advertising studio that creates solutions through in-house, is the keyword, sound engineering, classy writing, and moving plus images. We work on everything that moves and everything that can attract. If you go down a little bit, don't click on the buttons. Our last clients are Glastonbury 2024, just go up please. Step Arabia, we're expanding also to Dubai. We want to conquer that world as much as it's there. If you go down a little bit, the thing that kind of kick-started the company was nothing else but a concert of Nickelback. And I was there, I was like, can I be your photographer? And they said, no, you can't because you have to have a company to write a review on. I was like, okay, so then we write reviews. I just got there, I was like, okay, I got the pass. And I was like, okay, this is how we started getting clients as a blog post. Meaning that, we will go to Nickelback, listen to his concert, get the pictures, get to write about it and get shared about it. The next thing that happened was Glastonbury, out of the blue. We opened the company on the 4th of June, on end of June we were in Glastonbury, miraculously. Same thing happened with, who was the last? Bocelli, Andrea Bocelli. It was Andrea Bocelli, guys. So this is how we started. So if you go up a little bit, so our last customer is Glastonbury, then we got Step Arabia, big conference in Dubai. Nickelback Snapshot is our best product so far. It's our photography podcast. And if you go down a little bit, on the left-hand side, you'll see that we create brand identity from scratch. What we do is we create and rebrand and up-brand your businesses. We develop your business further. If you go to the right, this is something I didn't have time to work on, so it's just there. I'm not gonna be honest with you. So if you go down a little bit, these are the clients. I mean, I think they're cool. They could be better, but I think Oxford, London Jazz Festival, Airbnb, Kazoo, Vogue, and all the others, of course, the University of Cambridge, it kind of depicts of where we want to be. Like, we want to work with the best. We're not gonna sit down and do nothing. Like, we want to really, teach the world better. If you go down a little bit, so that's Tuscany, simple as that. So our mission statement could be that we allow you to become more and achieve more through crisp visuals, soundscapes, and strategies that will last multiple seasons. You don't need to improve yourself every day. It's enough to do it every now and then. This is what we aim for by our long-term content. We're not gonna just produce a 5-second thing. So if you go down a little bit, this is an image of your jazzist. So this is our services, so brand architecture. So we figure out who you are and who you want to speak to. So we figure out who you are and who you want to speak to with your brand by asking the right questions. We're big on narrative. Like we are big on conversations. We are big on understanding what it is that you really, really need. So our services for brand strategy involve in-person targeted surveys, discovery sessions, business therapy, up-branding, guerrilla marketing, and digital campaigns.
And may I just add, I think one thing because I started off as a freelancer, and that was literally just like 2 guys in a room meeting a fashion executive and then trying to trick him into giving us, 500 quid to shoot a shoot. But I've realized that basically whatever you can produce visually, whatever visual thing you can tell to influence a buying decision, that's all that matters, right? Fundamentally, what matters is a sound file and a visual file, right? And ultimately, if that pleases the client, then that's business well done. So I think as the Cambridge Chronicles, we're here to work. Obviously, it's nice having a cool image, but we're here to produce the top level work that will produce results. So we're not necessarily Michelangelo. We're hard grafting miners, as it were, right? We want to produce value and we want to produce product, and I think that we definitely deliver on that.
I agree, because I think for us, we want to really make it great and really keep it authentic. Like as any other studio, this is not something that will last forever, because in terms of creatives, nothing is there forever. It's like a movement. Like this could be, you can call it a movement. Cambridge Chronicles is a movement, and in 5 years' time, it will be elsewhere. So this is what we're building on now. So if you step down a little bit, another thing that we do is moving images, where we offer the whole thing. Like we will do the whole thing for you as long as you know what you want. And we do it in cinema quality. One of the things that we want to do is we want to specialize in cinema advertising. And when you go to the cinema, you hear that sound and you hear that and you see that visual, it makes you move. That's what we want to do. So if you go down a little bit more, please. Photography. So we specialize in really, really good photography. Like our skill set that stands out the most is this, where we offer studio solutions, event coverage at its finest, where we go to Dubai and we go to take pictures of the king if we have to. Our brand identity campaigns, where any business that shows up will represent them in a way that if anyone looks at it, they will fall in love with it. We do funeral photography. So this is something that we do just for very, very special people. The first client of ours was Professor Stephen Hawking. The next client will be Martin Parr. Like we got this already as a contract. We do live sharing as in terms of when events happen. Some of the conferences, some of the businesses, they want to get this out there really, really now. So what we do is we connect our cameras to Wi-Fi and we just send the whole thing. And we take, Tristan, what the hell was that again?
Whole culture promotion.
Talk about it.
In summary,
what is that, man? Like, spice this up.
So being half French, I understand how basically people with high taste expect a certain level of arrogance to come with it. So basically, we will provide the visuals and the soundscape to basically say what you want to say to your niche, who know damn well what needs to be in that niche. So, like not everyone can do a Vogue cover because a Vogue cover is necessarily specific. So I would just say we're very good at understanding the visual language in a way that we can quickly read a small niche or a small audience, and we know exactly what they expect from the brand. We don't miss with our visual statements, if that makes sense. And ultimately, as much as we like providing for all these different brands, we're aiming for the best. We want to be working with, champagne brands. So one time we will be champagne in both quality and also in product. So yeah, that's what I mean.
Kadim, what is your biggest dream as a creative director? Because this is something that you will want to be, no? A creative director. What is the thing that you live for?
For me, is always keeping creativity to its purest form, because nowadays, especially where AI is coming in, I feel like a lot of changes is going to happen, and it's going to be to the point that you won't need creatives. And my biggest thing that I want to make sure that happens is as I continue forward it inspires others to continue forward to be as creative as they are now with their own talents and push their own talents not to perfection, because once you reach perfection, what is there next? So it's always to try to develop further, try new ideas, and even if you have to start from scratch, push that forward as well. So once I get to that area where I'm able to help others that may not feel like they are creative, I can always show them that every single person is creative in their own way. It's just how you communicate it. And that's why we have visual communication in the first place. So my main goal is to be able to be in the position to make sure that everyone is aware how they can move themselves forward and present themselves in a way that is still in a creative fashion without relying on tools to do it just for them. To be able to find different ways and different unique ways to do it for them. Because even if you do stick figures, no one can do the same stick figure as you. You could go into Photoshop and maybe you could duplicate it from there, but what's the point then? It's how you do it and how you put your own uniqueness towards it and keep that moving forward. And that's where I want to be in the future when I become a creative director, to be able to make sure that every uniqueness for any brand or businesses that I work for, even if it's my own, that it keeps their own unique flair. And not only that, but pushes it forward and not just rely on the tools that's there in hand.
Damn. Damn. And where do you think you're gonna be? Like, is Cambridge a transitional place for you, or is it gonna be like a setting stone?
I would say that right now, this is a position where it's, I wouldn't say stepping stone. I would say it's a place of growth. Because at this moment, it's making sure that everything that I've learned, just for a little background, I am currently doing my master's. I'm finishing up my master's now. And from what I've witnessed is that the way that the creative world has become is become business orientated. And being that it's like that now, there's a person that could be working, that study business, but be able to get a graphic design job. Whereas a graphic designer that study in the creative industry and art for the longest amount of time, they won't get that job because it's all about where the funds is coming in. So going back towards me, I feel like this is the opportunity of growth, of understanding how a business is run, what you need to get done, where it's a different idea, another idea to branch out towards that you wouldn't usually use to get yourself known. How would you network? Because these are all things that a lot of people overlook, thinking that this is just a small thing. I will say the networking thing is the biggest thing ever, because I wouldn't be a part of this to begin with if it wasn't for Netta having a conversation with me getting to know everyone's specialities as well. Even having a moment over here just talking to Sam and then go like, hey, I may know a guy that could rap for your music. And then building from there, and then next you know is that may play a stepping stone for that person to also build onto Cambridge Chronicles as well. So I would say I'm in a place of growth, and I think it will be a continuation of that towards the next 5 years, 10 years, and onwards, because I feel like everyone in this position at this moment is in a place of growth. They're never in a stagnant going like, oh, this is what I do, and that's it. They're like, this is what I do, this is what I mastered, but then at the same time, they're ready to go like, oh, you want to try that? Give me a week, let me see if I can figure this out. And then next thing you notice, they've already mastered something that they weren't prepared for. And I think that's the beauty of it. I don't see it as a stepping stone. I see it. I'm going to keep emphasizing this because it's true. It's growth.
That was the question. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was the question. Like, you know, Cambridge is one of those places I think is transitional for people who come here. For people who grew up in here, maybe, like, you know, it's a home and we keep it as that. But for people who come here, it's a transitional point, whether it's a year, 3, 5, or 15. So.
And we would love to do that documentary for Cambridge.
Yeah, because you know why? You know why? I'll tell you the reason why you want to do that documentary. Because I'm a big documentarist, dude. Like, I love documentaries. Like, I would watch documentaries over anything. Like, you know, it's an informational point in terms of history, of anything that you like. And I was like, okay, Cambridge Chronicles, idea of, you know, becoming a documentary series, a project, whatever that is. And I've wasted a lot of time researching documentaries about Cambridge, and the last one to date was just before World War II. And I'm like, you can still see the little fucking thing in the market square. Like now it's not present because of World War II. You get what I mean? So I think the idea is not to only grow as a studio, but also to create that really good documentary about Cambridge, where we speak about everything that is current at the moment and its past and its future. So
If you think about it, Cambridge is a crazy city. Has a history behind that. Attract, those minds.
City.
It's a mind city. Basically, every smart person ever existed stepped on this place or on the university, went to speak, went to say something. It's crazy. We had Stephen Hawking. We had we had what was the name? The guy that discovered gravity. I'm not good in science, to be honest. And also, I've seen that every great mind basically went by here and said his own thing on the Cambridge University. That's one of the centers of the world, you know. So if we start from a place like this, we can. Where else we can go?
But that is the thing. I think with that, Cambridge Chronicles is not something that is gonna be a stranger to the city too, because we want to work with the best, yes, because you can hide the idea of the kind of a project, and we want to really speak about the city. Like my plan is to leave in 3 years' time. Like whatever I'm gonna do with this studio in 3 years' time is gonna go to Tuscany, and life moves on per se. So we see it as a movement that's just for now, and if we could create the best history of today, we would really appreciate that. You get what I mean? And that is our mission. That is the whole mission of Cambridge Chronicles, is to create a documentary about the city, of the people who are gonna die. It's just simple as that. And we take pictures of the funerals.
Pretty dark.
Do you have any questions? Because we've done all the talking. I know this is the first time of this kind of format, so it might be awkward. So I don't know. Any questions? Hit us up.
Probably you even have no idea how quickly we came into the team. So
This is a result of a month and a half. Like 1 month and a half. Like.
And then couple weeks there, and in a couple of months now it's 7 of us. So it's been really it's quick move for us.
And Lauren over there, she's missing because she was meant to be here, but no, she couldn't make it. So there's another person on top.
They're in spirit there.
Yeah.
We love you, Lauren.
A girl
your
with a
production
camera.
skills to produce like a cardboard.
We didn't have time. We would have done something. Like she's on the slides though. Like if you can you pull up the slides, please, bro? We don't have. Kadim, do you have it on AirDrop?
It's all right.
No, because this is something we wanted to show, but we didn't have the documents. So do you have any questions? Make them up. Make them up. Make them up. Make them up.
For example, I work with logos, marketing, brand management. I like the logo. I really like the logo. How come the color? How do you pick up the color? It was just around the yellow.
So the color was. It was a process with the brand ambassador, meaning that this is something that liked the brand, and he was a graphic designer, and we said, okay, we like Cambridge. Cambridge, what is iconic to Cambridge? Although it's King's College, but you can still make it simple.
Cambridge United football team.
And look, I'll tell you the connection between it, and you will not believe it. So, the Cambridge Chronicles logo was designed by my previous studio, which was called Creative Onions. And what we did was we could just create campaigns for 3 businesses around here, and we shut down. Like we didn't need to, our collective split up, and we're good. And this was designed by Haydar. And the concept was simple. Cambridge Chronicles use King's College as reference because that's it means the most to me. Because it's my idea, I would like to represent it. And we done it in this way. Haydar, the designer that designed this, and now he works as the video manager, I would call him, for Cambridge United. So it's like a nice connection to have. Like it's also it fits in. I support Cambridge United, of course. There's a connection. The thing is, it was designed by someone who was already sympathizing Cambridge. It's just a connection.
I think that college is almost like our Eiffel Tower. Do you know what I mean?
See, bro. It's it's crazy. Okay, so this is us. These headshots were done just like that. We wanted to do it for the presentation and for the sake of it. We done it. We still done it. You get what I mean? So we all introduced ourselves. So this is me. Keep going. This is Sam. This is in chronological order. This is Tom. This is Nadia. This is Tristan.
He just took
This is Lauren. She's not here. So,
I got knocked off.
so this is Kadim. Look at him. Like, nah.
Kadim is the only beautiful one in those pictures. Look at him.
Go down, brother. So our mission. So our slogan. If you go up.
This one?
Yes. So I think we can end this presentation, and then we can ask questions and ideas once again. Is that our slogan is, we see where you don't. Because we are that creatives that will really solve your problem. Like, you know, in the creative way. Like, you know, not everyone is designed to be creative. And therefore, we are your studio. And that is it. Thank you very much.